Tonight, there are some Christmas traditions you can't do without. Stockings, mistletoe, sherry. But those are the details that pertain to a court case I've got coming up next year, so we'll move on. Of the traditions that we enjoy, the Christmas roast is surely at the top. So when someone messes with it, it can cause such upset. Political commentator Sophie posted this on social media, a picture of her Christmas Day din-dins. She was going for a Christmas Day curry. The post has been viewed millions of times, such is the anger that this caused. Refusing to have a proper traditional Christmas roast may be an affront to all that is British, and I will make sure she is never allowed on this station again. Joining me now to talk about this is Sophie herself and chef Giancarlo Caldesi. Let's start with Sophie. Explain yourself.
Well, you know, Christmas for me is about being able to eat whatever you want. So if you want to eat 2 Toblerones and a milk tray at 6 a.m, you do you, son. So for me personally, I want my favourite food. My favourite food is a curry. It has to be specifically the one from Tesco's, by the way. No other curry is permitted. And I just don't like roast dinner. I think roast dinner is gross. Not a fan of potatoes or any of the other stuff. And the only thing that really salvages it is the Yorkshires. So I've never eaten a Sunday roast dinner. I do not want to eat one. And I have a curry for Christmas. The rest of my family do eat Sunday roast, by the way, so we're not weird.
Do you not see there's a slight mismatch between you saying you can eat whatever you want and then you having a list of rules about what a Christmas Day curry should be? If there are some rules, just for one day out of the year, why don't you stick to them and have a proper Christmas dinner?
I mean, it's my personal rules for my curry of preference. I think the Tesco microwavable curry is the best curry. But again, my food opinions can't really be judged, as the internet have probably proved with their outrage of my curry for Christmas. But no, I think Christmas is to be enjoyed, and I just don't like roast dinner. So I have a curry for Christmas.
Well, as a man who knows his way around some food, Giancarlo, what's your take on this?
Oh, well, it's very shocking. I mean, I think what we tend to forget is tradition, and what the food evokes our senses to really remember beautiful days, days that really matters to us. And obviously, a roast dinner well cooked is an amazing thing to have, and also brings the family together. It's a different level altogether, and unfortunately, I cannot agree with the simple have a curry from anywhere you like. I mean, I found that very sad. The photographer there was very sad. He wasn't happy. It didn't show any intent of Christmas in any household in Great Britain. I mean, my Christmas time in Italy, my mum used to make a lasagna. Then we used to have a capo, not a turkey, it's a large chicken, and then panettone. So I open a panettone, and immediately I go back 60 years ago with my mother. It's those things that are made out of a wonderful. You should feel that food brings you back to what you are, where you belong, and things you had when you were young. I can understand one day you can have something unusual because you haven't got time to cook it. But to say the roast is gross, I'm sorry, that's not right. Because you must have had some roast, which really, they cannot be cooked by I don't know, by who? You know,
yeah,
probably
Sophie,
by a robot.
if your roasts are worse than a microwavable curry, do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
It doesn't point to
Yeah, the rest of my
the fact
family eat roast. I'm just really particular. I just don't like roast dinner. I love curry. My microwavable curry is my favourite food out of everything, by the way. Like this Tesco curry is like my favourite food out of everything.
I will invite you to have a roast dinner. I will invite you to have a roast dinner, if I may. So let's see. Let's put it to the test and see what you really think.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm on this.
Honestly, ask the televisions to put us in touch. You come in and then say what you think. Because to me, this is, I don't say it's offensive by any means, but it really stirs me up. I feel very stirred up by it. I really do. And I believe in my abilities, and I believe in what I do. And I believe that people, it's important, the food that you have when you're a child, and then something done properly is so delicious. It's just, Christmas is not Christmas without sitting down with the family, having some dinners which really make sense. You know, you go bread sauce, you go cranberry sauce, you go your sausages, you go your turkey that is not too dry, it's done properly. One little dish just put there nicely, and suddenly you're warm. You go everything around you with a nice bottle of
Can I just check a couple of things? Sophie, is this a long con where you thought, I know, I'll post a picture of a curry and get some sort of top-notch free roast out of it? And if that's not the case, are you willing to admit that maybe you've just not met the right roast yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, I love curry, like the Tesco's curry. It's like my favourite food. And I think the most outrage of this post wasn't actually, if you read the comments, was the fact that I had curry. It was the fact that I had toast with curry. There was just such bitter outrage that I dared to have toast with curry, which is literally just bread but warmed up. And I'm like, I like toast. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I just love curry, and I think, yeah, it's I didn't expect to end up on GBNews talking about having a curry for Christmas, but
you know, I think the problem isn't that you had toast. The problem isn't that toast is just warmed up bread. The problem is naan bread was staring you right in the face. You didn't pick it.
Very charming. I understand, but please, let me invite you to make your roast dinner for you and your whoever come with you, somebody with you. I'll make a roast dinner the way my mother used to make, and then we'll have the proper discussion. Because this it cannot be left on its own. You know, it can be. It's no. I'm sorry, I can't do it. You know, because I'm sorry. A curry for Christmas from Tesco. I'll have a curry from Caldesi restaurant. It's fine. I mean, come on, guys. This is not right. It just doesn't feel right. But
do you not feel, Sophie, that you are missing out on? Look, I mean, look at the passion that you see when people speak of roast, the Christmas roast. Do you not think that you're missing out on that? Maybe you're just not seeing the beauty. Just because you don't like potatoes, you ignore the potatoes, ignore the bigger picture.
I mean, it's not just it's just the whole thing, like meat with potatoes, with Yorkshire pudding. I mean, I don't really get the connection to Christmas because we have it every Sunday everywhere. Well, I don't because I don't eat it, but you know, it's you know, Sunday roast, you have it every week, so why any different? I think the real killer on Christmas is the pigs in blankets for the starters.
I'm sorry. It's not every week. It's not every week. It's one important part of our lives. One day that you can really put something on the table, share it with your loved one, and then you say, wow, you know, it's memory, go back to it's once a year. It's not that you do it like every day. So that once a year is those few things that you put on the table, there's good memories. It means pie with a lovely cup of tea. What's wrong with that? It's amazing. It's really amazing. You know, but honestly, you need to really bear with me and come with me for a day, 2 days, a week, and I'll show you how to cook it. And then you say, okay, I get it. But
you have to learn how to cook it. You don't just get to eat it. I see. Sophie, can I ask this, Sophie? You seem in every other area of your body of work to be the kind of person who likes tradition, who likes the way things used to be done and the values therein. I mean, we've been having turkey since the 1500s. That's the kind of tradition that you could link into and enjoy, and this one thing, you seem to break your own rule.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm Gen Z, so we do sometimes like to, you know, ruffle some feathers a little bit, and I typically do like some traditions. So my Christmas, you know, we have the stockings and everything else is done right. I'm very particular about my traditions with my family for Christmas, other than roast dinner, because I despise roast dinner.
I still think it's the case that you've not met the right one. Have you ever been to a place that does a roast dinner, or has it always been just one person cooking it for you, in which case we know who to blame?
Well, once I went to a Toby Carver and it was the worst place I think I've ever been, and I'd rather frequent the McDonald's instead. But my mum does cook a pretty good roast. Everyone in my family raves about it. I'm just extremely weird, but I'm also the kind of person that only eats one type of specific curry and only eats one cake and do not like any other form of cake other than this one cake that I eat, which is a Tesco tray bake.
So maybe this is the issue, that actually you need to go on, was it Channel 4's Fussy Eaters? Maybe it's not about that it's an issue that you've got with food.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I just don't like roast dinner. It's very strange. And I think because I play football on a Sunday as well, my family, when we were kids, we used to have roast dinner quite frequently, and much to my despair. But as I started playing football, we used to play football quite late on a Sunday because we play away, and I used to get out of the roast dinner. So I think my despising for roast dinner has actually helped fuel my football career quite well.
That's all very well, but this is not as we've just been hearing. It's not the weekly roast. This is the once-a-year special tribute to all that those turkeys have done.
What's the difference difference between a Christmas dinner and a weekly roast?
I'm sorry, it's a big difference. I'm sorry. Excuse me. It's a big difference. You cannot bring to the screen that you're going to have a specific curry from somewhere that is a big store or something else, and mentioning McDonald's. I'm sorry, that is not food. It really upsets me. It really upsets me. It really does.
Well,
I'm
this
sorry.
has basically been...
I'm sorry. I spent my life on writing books, doing things for people that really matter, saving people's lives, actually, is matter of fact. And food is so important and should be treated as such.